Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the WBA Gold Heavyweight Championship. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions in association with Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated and Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, Steward in Charge, Dean Hollington, along with the World Boxing Association President, Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor, Jesper Jensen. Our three judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be Bob Williams of England, Manuel Oliver Palomo of Spain, and Pavel Cardini of Poland. Our referee in charge, third man to the ring, will be Steve Gray of England. Introducing to you first the challenger, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing white with gold and weighed in at 16 stone, 2 pounds. Coming to us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. He brings a professional record consisting of 24 wins, 3 defeats, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former world title challenger, Bryant "Bye-Bye" Jennings. And his opponent across the ring, he is the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing beige and blue and weighed in at 18 stone, 4 pounds. Hailing from Putney, London, England, he was a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, and now as a professional is undefeated with 9 wins. All 9 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the current Commonwealth, WBA Continental, and tonight the defending WBA Gold Heavyweight Champion, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce.
Okay, boys, if I call a break, you take 1 step back. No punches around the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, lads.
Interesting little stare down. And the action about to get underway. Bryant Jennings has been a little bit angered that some people have been suggesting that he's no more than a stepping stone for Joe Joyce and the best name on his record. Few people are thinking that Joe Joyce is not all that he's cracked up to be. Well, we will see. 12 threes. And Joe Joyce, as you can see, significantly the bigger man. Jennings is quick, though, and he's got a little bit of power. He's no mug. And he, I suspect, will show that, particularly in the early stages.
Yeah, and his ring craft is pretty good as well, John. So he knows his way around the ring. You know when to take a rest, when to hold, when to turn, Joyce. So I think for Joyce, and I can understand why people say, Joyce is easy to work out, because he is. He comes forward in straight lines, but he's almost impossible to deter. That's the thing. And I can imagine with Booth in his corner now, they're probably trying to get a bit more variety in his work, and that's a good thing. But you have to be careful you don't take away what makes him the core, what makes him strong, and what makes him as good and successful as he's been. Because let's be honest, he's been having tests from his first professional fight and onwards.
Working now with Adam Booth, and Joe says that Adam's been trying to improve his footwork, trying to get more lateral movement into what he's doing. I think he recognises that he's perhaps been just a little bit too easy to tag in some of his fights to date, and he can't afford to be tagged by this fella.
He's landed a couple of nice right hooks to the body there, Joyce, and again they're working the body quite well.
He's got that sort of lazy demeanour about him, which is a little bit Foreman-esque. He's maybe not got George Foreman's power, but the way he just sort of comes forward, walks forward, is a little bit reminiscent of the old heavyweight champion.
I don't know what he's doing that for, but I think he seems a little bit. Oh, good body shot there from Jennings.
Yeah, and he felt that one. He felt that.
I don't think Jennings realises.
He brought his arm down to protect the midriff after that left hook landed, and that was a hurtful shot from Jennings.
Still haven't recovered there, Joyce, just leaning on Jennings just to get a bit of...
He wanted a few seconds, didn't he?
Get a bit of air back in his lungs.
Now, does Jennings realise how quickly can he recover? He's looking for the body shot again. One of them strayed low, and the referee rightly says, keep your punches up. And as that glove came down, it gave the opportunity for punches to the head, and Joyce has to take a couple there.
Good right hand, though, back off Joyce off the ropes.
Oh, what an interesting opening round this has turned out to be.
Good jab there from Joyce. Looking for the body again there, though, Jennings. Just needs to pull punches in maybe 2s and 3s here, Jennings. Just you've got obviously advantage in speed over Joyce.
He's a vegan, is Bryant Jennings. And I'm told, a mean cook. And he's showing that he's still a bit of a fighter as well. And he had Joyce going a little in that opening round. The best punch of the first 3 minutes. Joe Joyce against Bryant Jennings, and Joe Joyce was caught really solidly in that opening round, Barry, and here it is.
Oh, it's a great shot, though, to be honest, it really is. Joyce couldn't disguise it either. He had to double over a little bit there, protect it with the elbow.
Seconds
He
out.
worked well after that, didn't he? Bryant Jennings.
Jennings do enough to take the opening round?
Only just, though, John. I think Joyce was boxing quite well and looked quite relaxed, but yeah, the only real significant shot really was that, and then after that, though, Jennings did pretty well after that. So yeah, I think he just nicked it on my card.
Well, he's got the reach advantage, Joyce, and he's got to work behind that jab and utilise, well, that height advantage. Jennings has actually got very long arms, I suppose I ought to point out.
I was going to say that Joyce looked a little more relaxed, and it looked like a little more speed in the punches, because that's what he lacked. He looked to be he always really tense up a body and almost pushing through his shot. So he beat people up, but didn't really have that snap to just to lay him more cold. But he looked a bit more relaxed, more snapping his shots.
I could see you wince when he produced a bit of showboating in that opening round. There's a nice left hand from Joyce.
I don't think it suits his demeanour or his style. That's all. And also, you're taking a risk of getting caught with something silly,
which he duly did. That's good from Joyce. He has a relentlessness about his work. He throws a huge amount of punches for a big man, and he can take a shot, which he had to do there.
And I think all the staying relaxed, trying to get more movement in is a really good thing. But again, you've got to stick to what you're good at.
That's good.
And that's it. That sort of stuff. Straight shots on the guard, working hard, hands high, almost a little bit robotic. Sometimes he's in a safer position that way.
33 years old, Joe Joyce. If he's going to get into world title contention, he needs to do it fairly quickly. And this, you could say, is a fairly high-risk step along the journey. Jennings almost trying to sucker him in, you sense there on the ropes, leaning back.
Just needs to up the intensity a little bit here, Joyce.
Sweet footwork has never been a Joyce hallmark.
But he's put Jennings in retreat for most of this round. Jennings there, a nice left hook, doubling up with it.
And the right hand.
Yeah, a bit of a slap, that right hand.
A decent round this for Joyce.
Yeah, that's Jennings just trying to slip and counter he is, but he's a little bit too far out, and with his back to the ropes as well. So we haven't got the room to push back.
Nice uppercut in there from Joyce. And Joyce is dominating this second round.
Just needs a bit more acceleration in that right hand there, Joyce. That's the shot. The jab's okay, pushing him back with it. That right hand needs to be a little bit snappier. But I still think he's had a better round. Good recovery round after the first here.
Yeah, good round for Joe Joyce.
One thing we've been working on is as soon as you finish punching, roll and go long again. Because after your work, you're just standing there. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Here's Joe Joyce
So,
with Adam Booth.
fight with that jab, go to work, quick roll and get straight back long again. What do you think? Do you understand? All he's trying to do is let you go and then he's going to your body. So keep him occupied, combination, roll and get long. Keep your discipline in this round.
Seconds out, round 3.
Much better second round than the first for Joe Joyce. So into the third, and Barry's got it level on the cards right now, 1 apiece.
And I think it was a better round because he reverted back to his original sort of style. But I did quite enjoy him with a little bit more relaxed. A little bit get more speed on a shot, but again, because he's a little more relaxed, a little bit more looser in the defence, and that's why the elbow flayed up a little bit, and that's where Jennings exploited with that lovely left hook to the body. So
Bryant Jennings from the rough streets of Philadelphia. Joe Joyce, the multi-medalled amateur and university graduate from Putney.
yeah, good body shot from Joyce. Yeah, he's an intelligent man, isn't he?
Very much so. Very much so.
You say you sort of say with a bit of shock in your voice.
Not at all.
A boxer who's intelligent.
Not at all. You're a very bright man, Barry.
No, I know what that means.
He's on the front foot. He's the one who's seeing as the aggressor here, Joyce.
That's good because it's nice and long, and Jennings got to try and close the gap then. His wrist walking onto the shots. See, when here, you don't need to be there, Joe. It's going to be that close.
Jennings being urged forward by his chief cornerman and trainer, John David Jackson. Chris Pyatt will hear that name with a wince. He was the man who took his world title off him in Leicester all those years ago. Still looks in great shape, by the way. That's a nice left hand from Jennings.
He's just been at work here, Jennings, that's all. I think if he can just get a little bit on the balls of his feet, just get a little bit of rhythm in his legs, because he has the faster hands and feet, so he can just get close. Good body shot there, though, from Jennings.
That's the story of Joyce, though, isn't it? For a big heavyweight, he does throw a huge number of punches.
He does, yeah. And beats you up rather than sort of knock you out.
Oh, hello. I don't think Bryant Jennings appreciated that one. He looked at him as much to say, what the?
That's good from Joyce, though, there. He threw a nice combination and took a step and a half back, which means Jennings, when he tried to fire, he was too far away. It wasn't just a step where Jennings could jump into the attack, it was a step and a half.
Jennings, who acquitted himself very well against Oscar Rivas, who's due to be fighting Dillian White next week. And he is still just about in the elite level of heavyweights in the world, and he's got him going now a little bit. But back comes Joyce. What a response. Great response. Just when Jennings looked as though he was coming on strong, Joyce, as much as to say, is that all you've got? Came right back.
Listen to me, listen. I like the emotion, but save the emotional energy, because you'll want that 4 or 5 rounds from now.
This is where he was starting to pile on.
A little bit of theatrics there, but it was a good little bit of work there from Jennings, but he left it too little too late for me, and I think where Joyce just works throughout the round. Jennings, for the most part, struggled to find the tag, but when he did get close enough, this is all work he can produce, so he needs to just quicken his feet. So Joyce, try and put Joyce with a bit more pressure if possible. Good response for there back
10 seconds.
after the little showboat and stuff there. Good response with the punches there from Joyce.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Well, a Joyce round though, Barry.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt.
So 3-2, 2-1 rather, in its favour after the first 3 rounds.
Oh, good right hand there from Joyce. Jennings just dipping to look, so the left hook to the body, I think.
There it is, that's how Barry's seeing it.
Nice little screw shot there, though, back from Bryant Jennings.
Only 2 other people who've beaten him, as well as Rivas, were Luis Ortiz and Vladimir Klitschko.
Oh,
He's taken good men to account for this fella.
doesn't need to get too close. He's walking him down, Joyce, and that's the right thing to do, of course. He's a bigger, stronger guy. But don't get too close so he can hold on there, Jennings. And also Jennings just not using that quicker hands and feet, and he's not quite using it enough. There's a good left hook from him, but he should be trying to just move around the target a little bit, little feints with the feet.
His punch output just not enough at the moment.
Oh, well, he's not going to match Joyce for punch output, but he can supersede him in speed. So a little feint, take a little step to the side, then throw 2-3 punches and move away. Let Joyce chase you down.
As ever, he's in fantastic condition, Bryant Jennings. He really does live the life. He makes great play of the fact that although he comes from a tough part of Philadelphia and he's seen a lot in his life, he's never done drugs, he's not a drinker, and he lives the life of a professional athlete.
Well, Joyce being a busy, he's not really landed with anything really clean here, Joyce. But again, he doesn't mind. He's okay. He's throwing those arms out, pushing through the target. And every now and again, Jennings comes back with little faster counters. But maybe again, just maybe not enough so far, unless he has a big finish here. Good shot.
It's a good right hand there from Jennings. But Joyce does have a good chin. Stopped a couple of times early as an amateur, but as a pro, never remotely wobbled, and the crowd responding to this.
It sometimes looks like he's punching through water, doesn't it, Joyce? But he's effective with it. He just doesn't stop letting his arms go. It lacks speed maybe and a snap, but the heavy pushing punches.
High energy round. And look how tired Jennings is as he sinks down onto his stool.
Talk your shit with your gloves, boy.
Nathan Gorman in the changing room, ready for our main event, which follows this. Nathan Gorman against Daniel Dubois. The battle of the 2 undefeated British prospects for the vacant British heavyweight title. Dubois so confident, likewise Gorman. They've made all the right noises all week, and fight time drawing closer.
When he's not here, he clams up. Yeah. When he clams up, he waits for you to punch and tries to sneak on you. Just be a bit smarter to that. Okay?
Seconds out, round 5.
Splendid arena for a splendid night of boxing. 5th round on Barry's card. Joe Joyce, the taller man on the left-hand side of your picture. He's ahead at this point.
It's just sheer work rate, isn't it, from Joyce?
Well, he's not called Juggernaut for nothing, is he? He sort of steamrollers you. Whether the fact that his defence isn't the finest, whether that would let him down against the likes of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, well, time will tell.
Well, I think what will let him down, you know, if you got to get past this
Yeah,
hurdle first, of course, but
exactly.
what will let him down is that because his punches are a little bit pushed, that they come back a little bit slower, and people like Fury and maybe a Wilder and a Joshua, you know, they might be able to exploit that. But you know, you've got to hurt him first, haven't you? Good shot there from Jennings. See Jennings using the footwork there for the first time. Just kept getting in, stepping in up the target.
Single shot though, and Joyce just blinks and keeps coming. The only time he's been hurt in this fight so far was by that body shot early on in the opening round.
Yeah, and he's not so loose now, is he? He was all loose and his arms were flared in, trying to get a little bit of relaxing. It's obviously got some that roll of the gloves was a technique to relax him before he throws a shot. Because obviously he's had to get rid of that now and realise he's got to protect that body. Good there from Jennings.
All Joyce's wins so far have come inside the distance. And Jennings coming into this on the back of a loss.
Shot, lovely body shot there from Jennings. A bit of success in this round.
But has he done enough to be sort of seen to be winning the round?
I think that's the
do you
word.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I think
just the volume of punches that Joyce is letting go.
some of the flashier work's been has been produced from Jennings for sure. But yeah, just Joyce being the busier. Good left hook again there from Jennings.
He's fighting in spurts though, Jennings, isn't he? And single shots are not enough. Well, the greater work rate once more has come from Joe Joyce as the fifth round reaches its conclusion, and he probably wins it. At the O2 Arena here, Joe Joyce seemingly is well ahead against Bryant Jennings in our main support bout before the British heavyweight title fight.
Seconds out, round 6.
That's how Barry's got it, by a 3-point margin. Bryant Jennings, you sense, needs a really good round and needs one quickly if he's going to really get back into this fight.
But I did think the last one was a lot closer. I think the the flashier work and some of the better, cleaner shots were landed from Jennings. The fact that he's being backed up though and probably outworked again from Joyce, you just favour that, I think.
There's the very real possibility. I was talking about various fights out there for the winner of this, of course. The winner of Dubois and Gorman. That would be a terrific British domestic fight against one or maybe both at some stage.
Yeah, for sure.
Has Jennings got the one-punch power to really put him into trouble?
Oh, good from Jennings.
Yeah, he found a right hand and another.
And a good defence there, using those forearms to block the comeback there of Joyce. Got to get off those ropes, so Jennings. Use that footwork. Side to side, then spin off.
Trying to pick his shots, trying to find an opening off those ropes, and it's not coming.
But you got to turn him now when Joyce is leaning on him, because you know all that weight in him. Just take the elbow, turn him. and then you can rally, then you can move back. Joyce's output's slowed down a lot, to be fair, as well.
It's a quiet round, this one, so far.
That's a good response here from Jennings.
Referee Steve Gray wanting Joyce to tidy his work up.
Nice uppercut.
Well, not a great round.
Oh, nice there from Jennings. A nice little snappy left hook. Just needs more of it. She's using his speed there when it's in close like that. For me, Jennings.
Quiet round, but Joyce is ahead in the fight at the halfway stage. Halfway stage of the fight, Barry. Only the main event to come after this, and Joe Joyce looking at this stage as though he's on his way to a win.
Do that left hook here or here, then go to work with him again. You understand?
Corners, 10 seconds.
Now make him, now punish him for the pressure that you put on him.
Seconds out, round 7.
Certainly need to see more from Bryant Jennings than we have done for the last few rounds.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit. I know Joyce is a hard man to come up against because he's just constant pressure and he's physically strong, but I don't think Jennings hasn't tried to use angles to get out of the way. He hasn't tried to use angles to come back with the attacks. He's been pot shot with some good shots, and when he does use that hand speed, he gets there first, and his punches look the better, and the neater and the cleaner. But it's just not enough of it. And sitting back on the ropes is doing you no favours at all. It didn't quite work, but at least he slipped inside. Joyce threw a shot and he slipped straight inside and went to work to the body.
Joyce not for the first time being told about use of the shoulder and of the arm. That's better from Jennings.
Slipping inside. I don't like this block and counting that he's trying to do, because again the distance. It's a lovely right-hander though from Jennings. Good.
Solid punch from the American.
Again, so far he's landed with the better shots in this round.
The thing about Joyce is that he's always on the front foot, always looking busy, and even if they're not meaningful shots. Well, there's a good right hand off the ropes from Jennings. A few oohs and ahs from those at ringside.
Good jab. You need to go back the other way there, Jennings. He went to the right, and to go back to the left and then fire.
Jennings not maintaining sufficient work rate for me.
I think he's landed with a better shot so far.
Well, yeah,
in this round
but
for me.
But has he landed enough? Just doesn't have the look of the man who's being proactive.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't for sure, because he's been the one pushed back. But I don't think Joyce so far in this round has been really effective himself with landed punches. I think a lot has been blocked for me. Jennings just got to keep changing direction all the time and make Joyce there just use that front foot and try and cut the ring off.
Not an easy round to score again, this one, Barry. As Joyce comes in with his arm and shoulder. Jennings edged that.
He did for me, John.
Not a great fight.
Don't shout out to him what to do, because he can hear it.
Okay. So you think he's adjusting to what I'm saying? What I will say is, even if that does happen, keep him occupied. Don't you stop, because he will put pressure. Remember what I said at the end of the last round?
There's that good right hand from Jennings.
Yeah, for me, I just think that you see here, there, most of the shots there are being blocked there from Jennings. So, a few of the body shots got through there from Joyce, but I just think he landed with the cleaner shots and just, again, not a massive, he didn't clear arms, but anyway, I thought the better work came from Jennings.
And he shows again, Joyce, that he does have a very good, not only a good engine, he's got a good chin, takes a shot.
Yeah, you know, he does. And to be fair, the body shots, he hasn't really affected him since that early round.
8th round then. On paper, it was always going to be the toughest fight of Joe Joyce's pro career so far. And Bryant Jennings showing no signs of buckling.
Oh, that's good. Good from Joyce there. Good response from Jennings, but I thought it was good from Joyce to come back with that long right hand. It's nice work. Again, Jennings is blocking. If he can't completely block it, he's slowing the shot. Let's say slowing the shot down, if that's possible. I mean, he's taking the power out of the shot, the weight out of the shot. That's the distance.
Good work.
That's it. Don't step forward with the front foot. You're there. That's your distance there. You get too close, you're losing a bit of snap on you, a little bit of power on your shot, and you can be caught back with anything coming back from Jennings.
Jennings really trying to load up with the right hand, does get through with a decent uppercut.
And the left hook to follow. See, because he doesn't have enough speed in his punches here, Jennings, Joyce, I should say, Jennings can just see the shots coming. I think he's just enough for him to cover up and tense up a little bit and be able to absorb the shots.
Well, that's the critics of Joe Joyce have always said that, haven't they? Not enough snap in his punches. But it all appears to be a little bit laborious.
Yeah, of course, but sometimes you've got what you've got, haven't you? You know what I mean? Not everything will be gifted with everything.
And he's doing enough in this fight so far,
yeah.
And that's the name of the game. Get out of it with a win.
And again, up to this point in this round, I think Jennings, some of the shots that Jennings landed with have been better, but Joyce has been far busier. Nice right hand again there from Joyce.
Jennings has fought around the world a lot as a sparring partner. Telling him about low punches. When you've earned money extensively in that way, sometimes there's a sparring partner mentality.
Yeah, that can happen.
He certainly needs to boss these latter rounds if he's going to upset the juggernaut.
I don't think that's quite the case here, though, with Jennings. He's just in against a real strong, big guy. But there's a feel that I think, maybe in the earlier rounds he could have used that bit of speed, a little bit more of foot, and got different angles on the shots and been slightly busier.
It's good from Joyce.
Again, most of it's blocked, and I think the weight's taken out of the shots with the gloves of Jennings, but good jab from Jennings.
Yeah, but a single shot and Joyce outworking him, and had to have done enough to have taken the round.
Rinse your mouth for a second. Rinse your mouth. Spit it out.
That was a good response there from Joyce. Look at that from Jennings as well. See, when you get closer distance there, you're allowing a guy to fire back. When he keeps it a little bit longer, Jennings can't fire back. And again, firing well off the ropes, but And I said the cleaner work, the flashier work probably comes from Jennings. But Joyce is working bell to bell.
As soon as he's finished spitting his punches, you answer him. You understand?
Always finish the job, son.
As soon as you get close, make yourself small. Let him go, then you go. Don't shoot.
6 rounds to 2. You've got it in Joyce's favour, I think, Barry. 4 to go. So Jennings has got to come on really strong. Looks to me as though Joyce is heading towards victory here. There's the scorecard, confirming that Barry has it by a 4-point margin.
And again, it's a typical Joyce performance, isn't it? Just real workmanlike, just all about effort and pressure, keeping those hands pumping out.
Well, I think we already know now this is only the 10th fight of Joyce's professional career. It's going to take a good fighter to beat him, and a heavy-handed fighter maybe.
Oh, good shot. Yeah, of course it's going to be a heavy-handed fight to work about, but I think also someone with fast feet will cause him plenty of problems as well, I think. But causing him problems and beating him are two different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Well,
Jennings
they can
needs a
also be the-
huge effort from here to turn this one round.
They can also be the same thing, of course, but
Jennings' corner imploring him to let his punches go, and he's not doing.
yeah, and when he does, he has real good success. And he hasn't really hurt, except for that body shot in the first round. He hasn't hurt Joyce with anything, but his shots are crisper. And if he was a bit busier, some of these other rounds he would have maybe nicked.
Well, not for the first time, a warning for Joyce. What's that about, Barry? Do you think that was pushing?
Yeah, he's pushing off with the shoulder, yeah, when they get close. And that might be sort of like a habitual thing that he's got away with most of his career, so he does it without thinking there. He was just using the forearm there to push him off. Just got to be careful there, because that'll be a point. And I'll close the gap there for Jennings. Good work there from Jennings. Joyce working the body with the better shots coming from Joyce. And Jennings in the referee's ear constantly now about that shoulder.
Well, he knows that Joyce is on thin ice there, and it may well be that if he gets another telling off from the referee, Steve Gray might have seen enough.
Oh, lovely double left hook there from Jennings.
Signs a little bit of fatigue from Joyce in this round.
Nice uppercut. See, he throws good combinations, Joyce. There's no speed in the shots. Good
Jennings
effort.
catches him with a decent left hand.
Good effort from Jennings here. Listening to the corner and letting his hands go in this round.
Well, he needs a big finish to the round. And it's not coming. Well, big effort from Jennings, but did he do enough?
Probably not, John.
Main event coming up after this. Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman. And here we are in the Dubois dressing room. Trying to stay relaxed, stay focused, stay sharp. Meanwhile, Nathan Gorman with Ricky Hatton. Ricky been there, seen it, done it so many times. Interesting that there's been late money on Nathan Gorman.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Hands there, you won't elbow him.
Seconds out, round 10.
Daniel Dubois priced around 13-8 on with the bookies. Gorman, who had been quite a healthy price against, now best priced at around about 13-8 against. So that would indicate that money has been coming on Ricky Hatton's man. Dubois, though, still the favourite.
Good body shot there from Jennings. Both landing with jabs as well. It's good work there from Bryant Jennings.
And again, starting to liven up at last in this 10th round. Joyce prepared to go toe-to-toe with him.
But again, though, he's the one being the busier, but a lot of the shots are being blocked here from Jennings.
They're very excited in the Jennings corner. They think that he caught him in that last exchange and that Joyce might be there and ready to be caught again, that is. Joyce has other ideas, a couple of meaty body shots.
Both landing with body shots, but again, a bit more snappier work, I feel, from Jennings. If Jennings just to move on the target, just take a little turn on the target, I think he gets off first, and I think because he's slower in hand and foot and movement there, Joyce is going to find it hard to turn with him. Shot.
Joyce, the heavier man, the bigger man, and the further the fight goes, is that physical difference, that physical disparity proving to be a factor. Oh, good shot, lovely right hand from Jennings.
Great there, tap with the jab, tap with the left hook, and the lovely right hand there to get off the ropes.
And it's certainly livened up here. Oh, he's taking a point away. Well, after all the warnings that Joe Joyce has got, it's Bryant Jennings who loses a point. Harsh or deserved?
Well, you see if the referee is going to make a public display that he's telling him all the time, so you know it seems harsh from here. But if he's constantly telling him about low blows, but yeah, it feels a bit harsh from where I'm sat. And I think he's winning the round as well, you know.
That's a low blow. Well, he's giving him a little bit of time to recover here. Can have as much as 5 minutes if he wants it.
Borderline. They're not borderline, they're here. You've got to address it, all right? Address it.
You've got to address it. You've got to stop doing it, says Steve Gray. And with that point deduction already, if he continues doing it, well, there goes the bell. It had been a Jennings round, but then the point deduction. Well, let's take again a look at this. Low punches. Great right hand, that was. And here's the low punch. Yeah, it was pretty low, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was, though, and rightly so. And if he's already continued to warn him, and then he does it again, then he has no option to take a point. Just we haven't really been seeing the referee making a clear statement that he's been telling him, which he doesn't have to. But I feel disappointed. He was having a good round for me, and that would have been for me a couple of rounds maybe on the spin there for Jennings.
Seconds out, round 11.
So into the 11th round of a fight which has spluttered into life on occasion, but has hardly gone down as a classic. But Joyce, we reckon, is convincingly ahead. And that point deduction for Bryant Jennings certainly doesn't aid his cause. Jennings being implored again to let his hands go. He's not doing anything at the moment.
Well, I think he'll regret sitting on the ropes, and I understand what he's trying to do, that sitting on the ropes and trying to counter back. But just gives the impression he's under pressure more than maybe he possibly is, and I think he hasn't used the footwork enough for me to move around the slower, bigger target of Joyce. Because when he does throw the shots, is it maybe the crisper and the cleaner of the two?
Nice little uppercut inside from Joyce there. And while the two of them lean on, the only one who's really letting punches go there is Joyce. Not a lot on him, but he's the only one who's throwing them.
It's nice from Joyce there, a little step out.
Well, it was in the last round that Bryant Jennings unravelled against Oscar Rivas in his last fight.
Good right hand there from Jennings. Nice uppercut there from Jennings. Trying to come on strong now in the last minute.
Well, he needs to. He surely needs to stop Joe Joyce to win this fight.
That's good work.
Another good uppercut off the ropes from Jennings.
Good left hook as well there from Jennings.
He's thrown some crisp punches again in this round, Barry, but just not enough.
I understand, you know, trying to finish the round strong, a good shot. But for me, he's done the better work in the last minute, Jennings, by far. But also, I think the 2 minutes was all Joe Joyce, and that's what, again, another round where it, literally quantity over quality.
Well, Joyce, then, so far as we're seeing it, is on the cusp of victory. And Adam Booth should be reasonably happy.
How you feel?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Deep breath. First round.
About right here, Brian.
Come out big.
Get your chin, get down low, come over the top. It's there for you, okay?
Yeah. Hustle out, guys.
All right, now.
Big deep breath, son.
Good work.
Look, the last round.
That's right.
They smart in there.
Give me those short shots. Sit on.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Last round, then. And
Seconds
Jennings,
out.
you would think,
12
probably
for
needs to
final
stop
round.
Joyce to win it.
Yeah, he does on my card, and I think, to be honest, I think he'll regret some of the choices he made, because I think this could have been I think a lot of the rounds have been close and competitive. I think it could have been a lot closer on the cards if he would have been a little bit busy with his hands, certainly early on in the fight. And he hasn't used the footwork as much as I was expecting from Jennings. Even there, see how he quickened his feet and got to the target quick, got his head on the chest there of Joyce. And it didn't work off. He couldn't get the work off, but it's the right idea. And maybe in another, he does that a couple of times in the round, and then one of those opportunities, he gets to rally with a combination.
The subdued reaction of the crowd probably tells its own story, though. Can Joyce provide a grandstand finish? He's trying. Jennings being told to get off the ropes by his corner.
Yeah,
easier said than done when you've got 18 stone leaning on you.
Because he's blocking most of the shots. It's just the impression is that he's one coming second best. Better jab there though from Jennings off the ropes.
But you don't win rounds by blocking punches.
No.
Going to be going down as a disappointing performance from Bryant Jennings there. He gives another little flash of what he might have been capable of.
Nice left hook and a decent right hand back. Good left hook again there from Jennings off the ropes.
Minute to go in this final round.
And again, good work.
Two solid headshots off the ropes again from Jennings, who's landed more of the quality punches in this round.
Oh, lovely. And again, good work. And just a little quarter step back there, wasn't it? Just to emphasise the work. That.
Joyce caught by the left hand. As we move into the last 30 seconds, Jennings still looking for one big knockout punch.
See, I thought we were going to see a bit more of this from Jennings, from the offset. Just moving around the ring a little bit more and darting into the attacks.
Too little, too late. You suspect.
Winning the round, though.
Well, the judges are going to be having to see something vastly different to what we've seen if he's going to have won it. Maybe wins the last round, puts his arms above his head, but we reckon not enough. Joyce doesn't exactly look ecstatic, does he?
It was a hard night's work for him. I think he got caught with a lot of shots, and, you know, and obviously the pressure that usually makes other fighters falter didn't work tonight for him. But you know, again, it doesn't matter. It's effective what he does. The workmanlike, the pressure, the punches are pushed a little bit, but you know, they're heavy and they tire the opponents out. But obviously there's things he's got to work on. The problem is his age. He hasn't got time on his side to develop. Maybe if he was 23, but you know, he is what he is. You know, and he's still a hard man to beat. But
Absolutely.
I think for me, I think he's won the fight, and I think Jennings will regret some of the choices he made in that fight. That he didn't really be a little bit busy with his hands, didn't use the footwork to get around the target.
And if Joyce has won, he's beaten a decently ranked and respected heavyweight.
Beaten a very good fight, of course he has, and he's been having tests all throughout his already his very short career, Joyce. He hasn't been afraid to step up to the plate. And that was evident in his very first fight as a professional.
Well, there's a few complaints from the Jennings corner about use of the shoulder and use of the forearm.
I understand. Maybe they got a bit of a point, really. If he got to put it one if hitting it below the belt, and Joyce maybe got away with using the shoulder quite often, then maybe you can understand why they feel sorry for themselves. But
Miffed that he was deducted a point and that Joe Joyce wasn't, maybe.
Well, for me, you know, that round he was winning, that makes his fight very close on the cards, and all of a sudden.
Well, I think we've got the result now up there in the ring. All we need is the fighters to be together with the referee. And Thomas Treiber is like a coiled spring up there. In a moment or two, we can get this result. Steve Gray needs to get the two fighters. And there's a little bit of a hug and a congratulations, and some of the bad blood of earlier is forgotten. Let's now see if we can get up there and hear from Thomas Treiber and get the result. Is it going to be win number 10 for Joe Joyce?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Manuel Oliver Palomo scores it 118 to 109. Judge Bob Williams scores it 117 to 110. And Judge Pavel Cardenas scores it 115 to 112, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still, WBA Gold Heavyweight Champion, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce.
Joyce winning pretty convincingly by 9 points on one card, 7 on the second, and by 3 points on the third. Jennings disappointed, but in all honesty, only had himself to blame. Joyce now makes it 10 out of 10.
Thank you, John. As we know, Frank Bruno is in the crowd here tonight at the O2 Arena. Lest we forget, Bruno made himself famous and loved by the public, losing to the likes of Bone Crusher Smith and Tim Witherspoon on the way up. He heroically recovered from that. Tonight, Richie, Joe Joyce has comfortably put away Bryant Jennings, a man who's only lost to 3 other world-class fighters, and the crowd seem unmoved by it. And honestly, I don't understand that.